my time. You do it now.
Oh
You gotta do.
my gosh.
You gotta do
That
just like that.
good day, sir. I can't do it as good as you.
You gotta go. It's like a good
Right.
day. My time.
So Marilyn has never, our guest has never met you before, never talked to you. So this is the very first time she's going to see you. I don't think she was ready for that, but good thing this is recorded because we can now play back, Marilyn, how shocked you were at how John starts this call. This is what I get to deal with every single week. I'm lucky me.
I don't know if it's dealing with, and nor do I know if it's putting up. I think it's this. You enjoy this, Miranda. I just want
I do. It is. It's a passion project. I do enjoy it.
to.
But you are crazy, and our guests always wonder how we get anything done of any substance.
Well, we do. We do. We tackle things. So Miranda has a new background today. She doesn't have her typical. Yeah, there you go. Look at that,
We
guys.
are doing an award trip. We're actually the first guest of Marshall Whalen's house in 2024, and we did an award trip, and we have 13 qualifiers here with us and some of our kids, and we just got here, and it's freaking awesome. So one of the perks. This is the best like belief building exercise in insurance, coming to your mentor's house when it's like 13,000 square feet, and those of you who have been here, you know.
Yeah, it's just a little disappointing that he doesn't have an elevator.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like
That's
for how big that damn house is. Like, where's the elevator at,
And
dog?
we should have those moving floors like at the airport where you like,
Yeah, like
to
the
get from one
escalator.
side.
Or whatever
Yeah,
it's called. I
the
mean,
moving floor.
we definitely need to we need to request that. We need to tell him that instead of him buying a private plane, I can't turn this on. Instead of him buying a private plane, we just need to add escalator in your house for Miranda and her two broken feet.
That's right. They're actually feeling a little better right now. I was walking around a bit, in the pool, swimming around.
Does it have anything to do with drugs?
No,
Okay,
nope.
I'm just wondering. So Miranda, are we going to tell people why we have a very special guest on? You know, and this is what we're doing a little bit lately, right, bud? Is it's we love different insights and we want to get our viewers, right? We just got a really cool thing of how many thousands of people are listening in. And it's awesome. But we want to bring as much value to you guys as we possibly can. And I think that there are areas, Murr, that we kind of lack at, or maybe that we didn't come in as strong. We didn't come in with knowledge. We didn't come in with some of the experience that some of these other IMOs had to do because they couldn't drum up leads the way that we could. Right? What did I say the other week? We're lead lizards. Right? So we had to heavily rely on leads, right? And so now we get to pull from individuals that that weren't lead lizards coming into here, right?
So here's the thing. Imagine writing an extra $22,000 to $37,000 a month extra, not having to buy any leads, because that's what this individual has done over the last 2 months. So they've written, over $50,000, almost $60,000 of annual premium volume off of referral business. And this wasn't something that just happened today. This individual's been in the business for like over 14 years in the practice company. And I was lucky to become business partners with her a few months ago. And I'm like, she's like, I can't wait to learn from you. I'm like, I can't wait to learn from you. So so I can't wait. Marilyn, so glad to have you on, girl. She was at the agent of the month in my agency last month, and she's killing it. And I know that so yes, welcome to Don't Suck at Sales. We want to learn how to don't not suck at getting referrals like you.
Yeah, we don't want to be lead lizards, Marilyn. So help us not be lead lizards. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And just like Miranda said, $22,000. Like Miranda said that a few months. I think you've been with her for all of like 55 days, right? Maybe 2 full months, if that.
On our third month, and we're gonna get
Yeah,
some more promotion.
exactly.
We're
So
doing
you got 20-something odd $1,000 in the very first month, $37,000 in your second month. Are you going to beat that this month just off of your referral campaign?
Yeah, definitely going for it.
I
Absolutely.
love it. So, Miranda, I'm going to let you kind of just run
Yeah.
with it here, and I'll be
So,
sitting here taking notes.
so I know that things have changed since you started in the business. So tell us what it was like when you started. Like you said, you had. Tell us, how did you get that book of business without having to buy leads? Like, what was that like?
So, we never had leads where my background come from. I worked in Primerica for 14 years, right? So, I was a previous accountant, so I was just looking for my own business because um, I have a daughter, so I just wanted to make sure that I was always there for my daughter and also had income. And in Primerica, we never got leads, so we had to prospect, right? So my leads came from either people I prospected on and about and just told them, hey, would you like to listen? Would you just give me a minute? Are you open for life insurance, or are you open to life insurance, or do you currently have any? And just kind of give them a presentation and just get referrals from them, right? Some That was one. Two, it was from recruiting, and three from my own warm market. And then later on, we implemented social media. So that's how we would get our referrals. See, the goal, when at the beginning, the goal wasn't really to close. The goal was to get as many referrals as possible because we knew if we bumped in the numbers, we eventually were going to have closes, we were going to have business, and we were going to have more referrals. So our goal at the beginning was just to every person we sat down with, we would aim at least for 5 referrals that are warmed already. So we would have the prospect, the potential client or prospect or whatever, um, warm them up for us. So we would give them a nice presentation, not more than 15 minutes, right? And just keep it straight. And if the person wanted to go ahead and do business with it, they would go ahead. If they wanted to join, great. If sometimes we even got both, but all the time we would get referrals. Make sense? So we
Yeah.
had a rule. We had 8 out of 8 people we would schedule, right? Of what we would say in symmetry, a what is it? 8 appointments, right? Out of 8 appointments, 5 will stay on. Those were our numbers. 3 will become a close. 1 will be a recruit. But out of all the 5 that stayed on, all 5, we had to have referrals. Like that was more important to us than the close because we couldn't buy leads or anything. We weren't even allowed to do that. Make sense? So that was
Mhm.
like our main goal, and that's how I built my book of business. Not only that, that was one that was to get in through the doors, right, and start getting more numbers, but also building a very strong business relationship with my clients. And
Mm.
how do I do that? Like every time my clients they call me, I might not be able to answer all the time, but if they text me, they know I answer. So I'm reachable. I'm always reachable and I always get back to them. There's nothing like, oh, I forgot. No. Make sense? That's why I always keep my planner. See, like I always write notes, right? Who to follow up and stuff. And following up, I mean, I think majority of my business came from follow-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Let me ask you, what kind of presentations were you doing? You would just open yourself up to be like, hey, I want to do a presentation for you for life insurance.
Yeah, so I would say,
And
hey,
then you would get 8 people to show up. And then out of those 8, that's where you came up with that criteria. I don't know how many people are actually going to go and do that, Miranda,
Mhm.
right? Is just go out there and be like, hey, let me talk to you about life insurance. So I don't know if we need to get into the nitty.
So here's the part that's cool. Like, so the mindset where Marilyn, you're going in there instead of looking for an application, you're like, I'm in here to get 5 bit referrals.
hmm,
So if you sat with 5 people, your mandatory number is 25 referrals that
absolutely.
week. So that mindset shift, and it was funny. I was going to an appointment and we talked about this, and I'm like, You're like, I would go get 5 referrals. I'm like, I'm gonna get 5 referrals, and then I totally forgot at the end to ask the guy, right? I was like, darn it. But like going into that appointment and knowing no matter what happens, I'm gonna get 5 referrals. I think that's a really cool way to look at it, because you're right. Even if you suck at sales, you're gonna get an application out of those. Or how many would you? I would
Exactly.
assume at least one out of that
Exactly.
5. You know?
So let's talk about in your presentation how you're doing that. I think that
Yeah,
that's going to be extremely valuable, right?
definitely.
Because
Yep.
think about that, Murr. If everyone can take one lead, one family that they sit in front of, and turn it into 5 additional families,
Yep.
and then take those 5 and turn that into 25, like you're like think of the ROI, think of the just the cost, right? Like how much does it cost you? Like this, these are the numbers that I used to look at, and I'm going down a little weird rabbit hole, and we really want to get to you, but like I used to think of it as what does it cost me to sit in front of a person?
Yes.
And I'm like my cost per presentation is what I used to boil it down to.
Me too.
And then I had a cost per application. And my cost per application, if I could get that down under $100, I knew that I was going to be extremely profitable. And if you think about all the leads that you buy, all your no shows, your actual presentation, what it costs you, now I can divide that by 5 from one family. I mean, and now I'm at a $20 per cost of acquisition. That's amazing.
Or you get to
That's
in front of 10
exactly what I
people.
did. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. I actually heard that in Mastering the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. I learned that. He said it
Yeah.
divided by 5.
Yeah.
And so who cares what the other 4 are gonna say if they say
That's
no?
right.
You
That's
got
right.
that one. And he said, so he had divided. So I said the minimum would be like, let's say you say it cost for $500, right? So I say, okay, the first no is $100, said no. And then the fifth one, like, thanks for the 500. Make sense?
Yeah.
To those
Yeah.
levels. That was the
Exactly.
mindset. And
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, right? You
yeah,
you did the numbers a little bit differently than I did, but you're absolutely correct. It's
yeah.
like think about it, right? Like fuck, I don't want to go down this weird rabbit hole, but it drastically helps you. And so when you're sitting in front of a family, like what is your setup? What's your go-to? Like, and again, you're sitting in front of every single family. Like your main priority is I need to get 5.
Yes.
I need to get 5 referrals from this. I don't
Yep.
care whether I make a sale or not, just as long as I'm getting 5 referrals. And here's what I'm going to tell everyone those referrals are warm, they're hotter than fresh leads. You're bringing in a much larger level of trust than you are buying a random lead for 50 or 60 bucks or 40 bucks or whatever you're buying these leads for.
You lead
So,
lizard.
you lead lizards, you. So, so Marilyn, I love the mindset, love the focus of 5. Now tell me, where do you bring it up? How intentional are we with it? And let's start there. Where do you
Okay.
bring it up in your presentation?
When do I bring it up? I bring it up at the beginning. So if the presentation consisted of what we do, who we are, what we do, and the kind of people I'm looking for. So I aim for recruiting as well, right? So
Yeah.
there was one like, and if I was training a new recruit, I would say, hey, listen, 80% will become clients, 30% will become recruits, but all of them we're getting referrals. We will not walk out of the house without referrals.
Yeah.
That's more important than the close. I used to tell them that. Like,
Yeah.
because if
Love
we
it.
bunch the numbers together, we are going to get business from there and
Yeah.
recruits and more
All
referrals.
right. So in the very beginning, then we're going in there. We're bringing it up in the very beginning. There's who we are, what we do, whatever you said. There's those 3 things. And then can you go through that and then talk about how you're grabbing those, like how you start through? I want to hear everywhere in your presentation that you hit on trying to grab a referral from them. And I think that this will be the most valuable thing that we can bring out.
So as soon as I walk in, right? Because before it was face to face, but then
Yeah.
we transitioned to Zoom, which was a
Yep.
lot better. But I would say, hey, thanks so much for your time. Before I go ahead and I start, I just want to let you know, um, we are based on a referral basis. So I am going to be requesting referrals at the end of the presentation. And anyone you can think throughout the presentation, just please, if you don't mind, just note it down. If you like, and I would hand them like a piece of paper, okay, and a pen, and say just write their name. Anyone you can think of that can also benefit from what we do. All right. You might be interested or not, but if you're either way, you might lead me to someone that either I can help or that might be interested. Okay. So
Yep.
that's exactly how I would start. And then I would go through the and say, hey, we are blah, 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 such company. We're in the New York Stock Exchange. Have you heard of us? No. Excellent. What do you think? How great does it speak about us? Oh my God, it speaks awesome. Excellent. Now, our mission is to help families get debt free, become financially independent, and
Mm-hmm.
what is it, properly protected. Now, do you currently own any life insurance? Right. So the presentation consisted more of questions. Right. Do you own any life insurance? No, I don't. Oh, really? Okay. Have you ever thought about it? Yes, I did. Oh, and so what happened? There's two reasons why people never get around to it. It's either they don't know how or they think it's too expensive. Which of those two is it? Oh, I never knew how to get around to it. Okay, great. So there's a reason why we met. So I'm just going to show you what we do, and then if you see value or something that will benefit you, we can go further in detail. Is that fair enough? Yes, great. And then I would go through the presentation. Throughout the questions, I would know if they would go ahead or not right away.
Right. Right. Yep. No, I got that. And then just based off of now the referral. So we got it right in the very beginning. I love that. Hey, we work on a referral basis. Anyone that you can think of. Okay, that's awesome. And then where else are you hitting the referral?
And then I say, how many families you think can benefit from what we do?
Okay.
Oh my God, so many. Is there anyone that can come to mind can actually benefit from what I'm showing you? Oh my God, yes. My cousin, my sister, my brother, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. That's excellent. All right. So let me continue. And then I would continue. Then I will get to the close, right? When I get to close, like, okay, let's say I closed, right? They picked the whatever the policy they wanted. And then I say, okay, great. Remember, John, that at the beginning, Miranda and John, I mentioned that I was going to be collecting referrals. Who do you know? And you also said you can think of a lot of many families that can actually benefit from what I do. So who would be someone that comes to your head right away that can benefit from what I do? And by the way, John and Miranda, do not this is all I'm going to say, okay? Because I found out that many people don't like to give out numbers because they don't know what you're going to tell their family and friends. So I'm just going to let you know what I would be saying to them. Okay. First, before I let you know, did I sound in any way pushy? And what did they say? No, no, you didn't. Okay, great. So this is all I'm gonna say, John and Miranda. Let's say I don't know, who's a brother of yours? I don't know, uh, Keith or whatever, right? I say, okay, hi Keith, how are you? My name is Marilyn. I'm sure John and Miranda let you know that I was gonna contact you. Oh yeah, they did because you warmed me up before I
All right.
called.
All right. Hold on one second. You're
Yeah.
jumping ahead to that phone call, and I love
Yeah.
this. So that's okay. So I love Miranda. I don't know if you caught that, but I love how she got out in front of the objection before, right? And she's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen, I know that a lot of people don't like to give up the telephone number, but let me ask you: did I come across in any way as pushy? Did I right?" And so here's what I want to say: two things to that, Mer. Number one, we get what we talk about. This is exactly what she's showing us,
Yep.
right? She's saying it up front. Look, we work on a referral basis. Anyone that you can think of, I think is that can really benefit from this. I'm going to be asking you from the end, okay, or at the very end of it. Perfect. So we get to the end of it, and then she's doing right in. But here's what I want to say. Number one, they're going to give them to you when you sell a policy because they like you and they trust you. Number two, they're going to give you referrals because that is their way of saying thank you. Even though I'm not buying from you, these people might. So you have a really strong chance at getting referrals no matter what, whether you help them or whether you don't. It's just a matter of how you look at it. Miranda, I'm going to kind of peel off here for a second. Like I remember in the very beginning, is I would see life insurance. If somebody had $1 million policy, I'd be like, oh God, I don't want to sit with that person. But once I brought my mind around it, it's like, no, you know what? I love sitting with people that have $1 million in life insurance because they understand the value of it, right? And then somebody that doesn't have life insurance, oh God, they don't. We could always look at it however we want to, but just embrace it in your brain. So if somebody, and I'm gonna bring it back full circle. If somebody bought from you, they're gonna love giving you referrals. If somebody didn't buy from you, they're going to love giving you referrals as a thank you for your time. And this is my nice way of telling you no, but here, these are people that you can help out. And just as long as you approach it that way, I think it's going to give us the confidence, Miranda, in being able to ask people for referrals. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Mur, I know we're at the 20-minute mark. We're a little bit over.
Wow.
Is there any? No, we're good. We're good.
I'd love to hear really quick, Marilyn, how does that call sound? Because I think, okay, now we got the referral, but what do we say to the referral, right? Like, so what is that? What I know you were going there. Like, I'd love to hear that part really fast.
So before you call the referral, I have the client text the referral, letting them know that I'm going to call them. Make sense? So they're actually expecting my call. And when I call the referral, say I called, I don't know, Keith, right? I would say, "Hi, Keith, how are you? This is Marilyn. I'm pretty sure Miranda and John let you know that I was going to contact you, right?" And he's going to say, "Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, he sent me a message, yeah, blah, 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 whatever." I'm like, "Excellent. The reason that I'm calling you is because I was able to help out Miranda and John put a plan together. And I was able to, get their family properly protected and save them a lot of money. And I was wondering, do you currently own any of these services? Do you currently have life insurance? Or I used to do retirement plan, right? So do you currently own life insurance or retirement planning?" And they would go ahead and say, "Yes." I was like, "Excellent. Who do you currently have? Would you mind just giving me 10 minutes of your time where I can introduce myself in person and just give you a second opinion and see that you have the best out there? And if you do and I cannot improve what you currently have, then hey, we leave it at there." And then they were like, "Oh, yeah, sure, no problem." And if they said, "No, I don't have anything," I was actually thinking, I'm like, "Great, then there's a reason why we need to meet." And I would set up the appointment right then and there.
I
So
love
I
it.
just kept it short, straight to the point, and like that.
Yeah. Leave it like it's you just transition to a policy review if they already have a policy.
Hmm.
And then if they don't have a policy, then oh my God, this is exactly where we're supposed to meet. Then boom, 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 boom,
Exactly.
boom. Go right into the appointment setting. That's
And
awesome.
then since they're
Mer.
already a referral, when I would meet with them or via Zoom or in person, I say, "Just like you came from a referral, I'm gonna be requesting referrals."
Yeah.
And I keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
So good.
I do too. That's awesome. You guys, listen, if you don't want to suck at sales, you don't want to be a lead lizard, go get some referrals. Miranda, what should they
Time
do?
at every appointment. I love that. Change that mindset, right? And
Hmm.
again, like what we talk about, what we think about, that's what we get, right? So I love that anything. That's why we do that role and purpose. You could throw it right in there, put it a part of your script, and don't be like me and forget to ask them at the end. Don't do that.
I look like the way that their mindset is, we look at it as an inventory. That's our inventory. The referrals. That's our leads, our inventory. Because we
Totally.
couldn't get leads anywhere else, so it was either that or we we wouldn't survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you sit with 10 people a week and you got 5 referrals, that's 50 extra leads a week. Holy crap, that is
Exactly.
your leads.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
I love it. Thank you so much, girl.
yes, Marilyn. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're a
Mer,
star.
maybe what we could do is we could script out just that intro and then script out just at the very end and then throw it on our Don't Suck at Sales. I think, what do you think? Do you think we can do that for him?
That would be a great job for you. But yes, we can do that.
He's doing a great job for Marilyn. I love
Uh,
it.
we'll see you guys next week.
Yes. If
Like,
you want to not suck at sales, click like, subscribe. Thank you all. Marilyn, thank you so much for joining us. We really
you're
appreciate
Thank
it.
you
welcome,
so much.
sister.